Worst boss ever. He was horrible. He yelled at us all the time, called us names that I'm not repeating here. And to give you an idea of his leadership style, I'd like to share with you his favorite quote. He used to always say, you take the grenade, you pull the pin out, throw it over the wall, blow everyone else up, so that he would look good. How many of you have had a guy, a boss like this, or a teacher, principal? Yeah, lots. I'll say over half. Yours get promoted too? What's up with that? When ours got promoted, we sent his team a little gift. We sent them a voodoo doll with a note that said, you're going to need this. All right. There's a guy in Michigan with a horrible headache right now. When I became a manager at Sandia Labs of a great group of policy experts and continuous improvement experts, I made a promise to myself to never have a voodoo doll made of me. So I studied all kinds of leadership styles. I read books, took classes, watched videos, and there was one that really stood out to me, and that was Dan Pink's TED Talk on human motivation. I can sum up that talk in 3 words: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Those 3 words became my leadership framework that I'm really excited to share with you. So we start with autonomy. Autonomy is really about the human desire to control our own destiny, make our own choices. There's a certain amount of freedom that comes with autonomy. You know, in my role, I've interviewed a lot of people, and I like to ask them, hey, what kind of leader do you do best under? You know what they never say? Nobody's ever said, well, I really like when my boss tells me what to do every single second of every single day. Nobody says that. What they all say, of course, is I need some space to do my job. So I give my staff a fair amount of autonomy in the tasks that they do, even some and when they do it. They get some autonomy in who they work with, and what I think is most important, they get a lot of autonomy in how they do their job. It makes a big difference. Now, second is mastery. And mastery really is about a mindset. Have any of you ever taken a class and maybe even gotten an A in a class, and let's say 6 months, 12 months, maybe just 2 days later, you've forgotten everything about that class? Certainly a big difference between that and learning something like, say, a language, to a point it starts to become part of who you are. There's a good reason why people play guitar or create web pages or paint on the weekend and in their free time. Part of it is it's fun. The other part is people like to get better and better and better at things. We inject some mastery into my department in a really cool way. We'll take a staff member and we'll ask them, we'll say, hey, what are you trying to get better at? What do you do on the weekends? What are your passions? What are you trying to master? We'll take those list of things, and we'll match it up against the work that needs to get done and try to fuse them together. In an educational setting, that might look something like, take Minecraft and fusing it with US history. I mean, how cool would that be? I really think if you let them bring a little bit of what they love into the work, they'll love the work just a little bit more. And then there's purpose. And purpose really needs to be 2 things. It needs to be both inspirational and instructional. From an inspiration perspective, companies have purpose statements. Nintendo, for example, has a purpose of putting a smile on the face of everyone they touch. The purpose at Sandia Labs, where I work, is to advance technology to ensure global peace. You could certainly argue the purpose here at TED is to promote ideas we're spreading. Now, quick question for you. What inspirational purpose have we given to education? I don't know either. And I think that's something we need to work on. But once you get them excited in the door, ready to work, then the work has to begin. And that's where the other half of purpose steps in. And that is all about the why. Let me give you an example. Let's say I needed a group of you to study some complex systems. And these systems could be biological systems or economic systems or even space flight systems. I need you to study these systems and be able to predict the outcomes of those systems. How many of you would be interested? A few of you, all right. How many are interested in just learning calculus? Nobody? The context makes all the difference. Now, I will tell you, implementing this framework is not easy. In fact, it can be quite difficult. My staff love it, but I will tell you, I've gotten a fair amount of criticism and pushback, both from my bosses and my peers. And the reason for that is quite simple. Think about how we've always tried to motivate and get the most out of people. We almost always follow the same simple formula, which is you see a behavior you like, you reward it. You see something you don't like, you punish it. Do exactly what the teacher wants, you get an A, make the boss happy, maybe you get a raise. And the fact of the matter is that method does work, and it works really well, but only for the most basic and simple of tasks. For tasks that involve this, our brain, our cognitive ability, for, things like learning calculus at school or solving problems at work, for things that involve this, science has shown again and again and again that the higher the reward, the worse the performance and the worse the creativity. Any guesses what does work? My friend, autonomy, mastery, and purpose. And the results for my team have been outstanding. I have the best group of people. They're happy to come into work every single day. They team exceptionally well. The quality of their work is top-notch. They innovate all the time, and they truly raise the bar day after day. So administrators and principals, can you say the same thing about your teachers? Do they raise the bar day after day? Are they innovating how they teach? Are they even happy coming into work? And teachers and parents, same question for you about our kids. Do they wake up happy to go to school? Are they learning things we never expected? Are we creating lifelong learners? Because that's what you can expect. But there's more. While I have expected and gotten great results, what I didn't expect was what happened outside of the office. I've got one staff member tell me that this work environment literally saved their marriage. And another at almost the same exact time tell me that they felt empowered to finally leave a dysfunctional relationship. I've got one staff member tell me they are in the best place of their life right now. And this is after being suicidal in their job just prior to working for me. Yeah, I could be talking about your kid or your spouse or your sibling. There are all kinds of leaders in this room, between vice presidents, directors, managers, administrators, teachers. In our formal leadership role, we control and define 4, 6, 8, or more hours of the day, every single day for the people that we lead. And that has a huge impact that extends far beyond the classroom or the office. So leaders, we need to be done fooling around with these old school leadership ways. We need to demand some autonomy and master these skills. Because our purpose, not just great results, not just avoiding voodoo dolls, but to radically and positively impact people's lives.